Bayard Dominick is Vice President of Planning and Development for Lone Mountain Land Company. He earned a BA from Yale and an MBA in Business Management from Stanford and moved to Big Sky from Whitefish in 2014. Among other things, one thing I do know about Bayard is that he's a huge fan of live music. Bayard, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me here. I appreciate it.
Let me just stick on that last bit real quick. I'm curious, what are we looking at in terms of live music this fall and winter? I mean, any chance we can see some changes?
Well, one of the things I've missed the most this summer through pandemic is the live music. I really, it's one of my passions. Thankful to Outlaw Partners and the Friday Afternoon Club and the live streaming that Arts Council has been doing, along with some of the individual musicians who've been live streaming. It sort of kept my Jones alive, waiting until the day we get to see a lot more live music. Unfortunately, I feel like for the near term, small intimate shows, house concerts, and acoustic guitars are going to be the norm for a while. But we are really excited about, we're building a bar in one of the new buildings in Town Center that when we get through the other side of COVID, we'll have a music venue capacity of about 300 people that we're really excited about.
Sure.
I don't know
absolutely.
when we'll be able to ever hit that, when we'll be able to hit that capacity, but it's something I'm really excited about.
Well, I was just going to ask you about that. I mean, LMLC, Lone Mountain Land Company, is the development arm of Cross Harbor Capital Partners. You guys are making some big moves. I was going to ask what you're most excited about, but I'd be curious, if it's this same building, to hear a little bit more about what the plans are for that space. Or what
that is one of my big passions is the live music in that venue. But honestly, what I'm most excited about, what I'm working on right now is on employee housing. We've got some huge initiatives going on right now that I'm really, really excited about. I mean, with the 68 units we've already built in Town Center, they're all rented on a long-term basis to employees. In addition to the buying and converting the River Rock Lodge, we will be bringing about almost 600 beds to the marketplace in the next 18 months. Both at the project down near Ace called Powder Light, as well as some additional beds down at Bucks T4. And then in this building that has the music venue in it, there'll be several units, there are beds in that building as well. There'll be long-term rentals. Really excited about that. Lone Mountain Land Company and our organization is making a huge commitment here, and I'm really, really passionate about what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, affordable housing is a key component to, any resort town, but certainly in Big Sky, and certainly right now with the interest that we've seen nationwide of people moving to Southwest Montana and for obvious reasons. But no, that's a really important component. We've seen, that people are moving to Southwest Montana for better or worse. What are some ways that we can balance the development that's happening and still keep this area a wild and special place?
Yeah, it's a really tough balance. I see it as a sustainability and responsible development as sort of a three-legged stool. Environmental sustainability and stewardship is one of those. Economic sustainability is another. And I think there's another aspect that I call social sustainability. A lot of things we're working on the environmental side is really focused on infrastructure, wastewater treatment, and cleaning water to the greatest extent possible, using that treated effluent to irrigate the golf courses at Moonlight and Spanish Peaks Yellowstone Club to protect the water use. We've been incorporating LEED-inspired design in all the buildings we've been bringing to Marketplace and Big Sky, which means we're really using alternative energy, high efficiency insulation, low flow water fixtures, those kind of things. We're exploring the possibility of building a biomass plant in Moonlight that would potentially provide the heat and some electricity for the Madison base area. We're using solar panels on the employee housing projects that we're bringing to Marketplace later this year and next year, which hopefully will minimize the amount of electricity we're using there, along with the low flow plumbing fixtures. I think public transportation is another big part of environmental sustainability. I'm on the Transportation District Board. I'm really advocating for dramatically increasing the public transportation available. And, talking about the conservation easements, we work with Montana Land Reliance to put about 2,500 acres in Moonlight Basin under conservation in 2019, which will permanently protect the wildlife corridor between the two big halves of the Lee Metcalf Wilderness Area. We think that's really important steps that we can take to protect our wildlands and our sustainability of our community. On the economic side, we're really working hard to create a year-round economy for our community members. Part of that is housing, having more people live here on a year-round basis instead of commuting either in buses or cars to Big Sky is an important part. Some elements that have come into place that I think have helped grow Big Sky as a community and make it more sustainable is the addition of the high school, the hospital, and having Roxy's open has really changed the way people can live and work in Big Sky. Town center is a big part of creating a community center where people will be coming and hanging out and feeling like they want to be a part of it and not just living in a bedroom community and commuting up here to work. Encouraging technology and people living and working here when they're remotely bringing in an economy to Big Sky that doesn't really exist to date. Finally, on the social side of things, in terms of creating a community that year-round workers, second homeowners, tourists all can rub shoulders hand in hand and experience it. I think the new base community center that's being developed right now is going to be an important part of creating a sustainable community, a place that will be a hub for our community. I think another big issue is daycare in our community, bringing expanded opportunities there so people actually feel like they can live and work here and still raise a family. They don't have to go back to the big city to take care of that. And then I already touched on the employee housing side of things. The public amenities, the trails and the river, again, is a huge, huge aspect of the sustainable growth of Big Sky.
Sure. Well, thank you for that. One component of a lot of this, and we'll touch on this a little bit later with Danny Birchwell, but the water and sewer plant, this 1% increase of resort tax money going toward the water and sewer plant, it's a $27 million project. And I was just curious, your thoughts and what Low Mountain Land Company has, what components you guys will be involved in with that, and if that indeed is a pretty big, is got to be a massive contribution to having more SFEs available for further development.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were very supportive of the 1% for infrastructure. The most important aspect of that in my mind is the additional SFEs that are available for employee housing. That's really opening up some potential for development projects for employee housing that wouldn't exist otherwise. So therefore we've been very supportive of it.
Yeah. Well, closing in on the end here, but Bayard, you're a big skier and outdoorsman. How important is it that we keep opportunities open and space open for fishermen and hunters and bikers and skiers?
It's critical.
What does that mean to the people who want to come here, the people who do live here?
That's why we're here. I mean, I've been here in Montana for 19 years. My children were born here. I'm raising here, protecting the legacy of open space and public access to that open space is a critical component and something I'm absolutely passionate about.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Lastly, and I'm going to ask you a question similar to what Brandon asked Chet, but what does Big Sky look like in 10 years?
It's changing fast. I think things will continue to change fast, but I hope we'll see a higher percentage of our employees living here on a year-round basis. There'll be a significantly improved, expanded housing options for people who want to live here year-round. The expanded bus service will be dramatically improved. I think there'll be a public expanded trails. I mean, I think the work the land alliances and the housing or the trusts are working on will improve and expand the trail systems. And what we've seen down in Missionary Creek on the new mountain bike trail there, I think the community loves and is passionate about those kind of trails. And I think we'll see significantly more over the next 5 and 10 years. we are passionate about it at Lone Mountain Land Company, have invested significantly in trails to date and will continue to do so. Town center in 10 years will be mostly built out and finished. We'll have a vibrant main street with restaurants, bars, and shopping, and a lot of people living down here. And hopefully we'll have a lot of great live music and live music venues.
Right on. Bayard, it's always a pleasure. Thanks very much for joining us tonight. And hopefully, I'm glad you're enjoying the FAC. Hopefully we can expand on this live music opportunity sooner than later. We're all praying for the best here.
I'm all for it. Thanks for having me.
You got it. And so I'll kick it over to you, Brandon. Any follow-up questions or anything from the audience?
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. Well, Bayard, we're talking about live music. You mentioned the bar that's under construction in Town Center that'll have the capacity to host 300 attendees when finished. I'm curious, what band are you hoping to see live when construction is complete and it is safe to do so?
I'm definitely dying to see Damn It, Lauren in the Well.
Absolutely. Did you get to catch them when they were on FAC in town?
I did. I live streamed it. I didn't get to see it from Plaza.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you, Bayard, for your time. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.